Is this sash for No Shave November? Are we over that, through that? This is just regular John Chambers.
It started that. Now it just comes out every September.
September.
Like when I first see a leaf changing colors, I'm like, I don't feel like shaving my upper lip today. I'm just gonna keep it. And then it's blonde, and we can see it for a month. And people are like, "Is that a mustache?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And then it like flourishes around this time of year. So,
and it's here to stay. I love it. That's
Miriam
awesome.
Miriam likes it.
That's what matters. That's all. That's the only person in this world that it matters.
This is true.
All right. Hello, wild ones. Happy Wednesday. We hope that you are well. We are here, John and Becca, for Wild and Well Together. And today we're going to be talking about life hacks. It's this idea of the shortcuts that we make to have life smoother, hacks that help us live more intentionally and not just faster. We want to highlight various life hacks that are practical, tactical, and let us move smoother in this game of life. So do we actually do this or just talk or think about doing this? John, how are you this week? What's our high-low buffalo? What are we coming in with?
I'm doing great this week. And turns out I do more life hacks than I thought I did. I'm generally looking for the next one, but it turns out I have been putting some in place. But we'll get into that in a bit. Let's start with some high-low buffalo.
As we were doing this, I realized that high-low buffalo is a life hack for getting people to talk about themselves, whether that be children, each other, or whatnot. I was like, rather than me saying, "How are you?" which you're great at sharing how you are, but instead of, I could change that and be like, "Hey, give me a high, a low, and a buffalo."
It gets to the meat and potatoes of the conversation. Get the pleasantries out of the way and get right into it. Okay, so my high this week is I ran my fastest mile in a couple years, which has been good. Very excited about it. I haven't really been like training directly for it, but been staying on like CrossFit hustle and that routine and occasionally run.
Did you do laps around a track? Did you have Miriam timing you? What was the play out?
I wish I could say that I had the family come outside with Miriam with a stopwatch and they had a ribbon. That would be my ideal scenario. Yeah. That didn't happen. I rolled into the gym one morning and they said, "We're going to run a mile today." And we ran a figure eight around 2 city blocks. And posted a time I was pleased with.
Which means that you are fit enough to do that on the regular and you haven't been training for that. Sure, showing up to the gym is training, but it's not like you were, "Hey, I want to hit sub 10 or sub 8 or whatever yours is. I'm going to be sub 12. Let's call it what it is." But that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's as these gray hairs coming in, it's good to feel like you still got it,
Spring chick.
Yeah, that's right. My low was we were over the weekend as a family out for the day, like meet people, doing all the things you do on a fall Sunday, and the baby screamed the entire way. It was a 45-minute drive, and it was like, "Get us out of here." Screamed the entire way, fell asleep as soon as we got there, but we made it through. It happens. I should be used to this, but it's not fun every time it happens.
This isn't your first rodeo. Full transparency, did you scream back?
I didn't scream back. No.
That's a win.
Look at me showing some progress. I don't know that I ever screamed back, but
that buffalo. Where you at?
Okay, this is a true buffalo. I stumbled upon a subculture this week. Okay. So if you'll remember, I told you that a buddy of mine was moving down the street, and you're gonna think this is ridiculous, but he got us a pair of like high-powered radios so that we could talk to each other. Walkie-talkie. They're radios, not walkie-talkies. How dare you?
Okay. You were 35
plus. No walkie-talkies. Radios. But these are high-powered, right?
This is Nick's dream. Let me tell you, is his best friend to move into the same neighborhood with him being close enough proximity-wise to be able to, have a grown-up walkie-talkie, a radio.
Yeah. So
what channel are y'all on?
Wait, hopped on channel 4. Okay. And we're firing them up. We're just catching up on the day, being idiots, just taking the opportunity to say over, come in and over. And
Roger that.
Roger, right, exactly. You got your rabbit ears on or what? So it's like going a step further than the hipster trend of landlines. We've gone a step further. We're going to radio. So we're like bantering back and forth. He's work has to stop. He's working on his house, but we committed to, you keep the radio on. You stay at the ready in case we need to catch up. And all of a sudden, this nice older gentleman comes on the radio and starts calling out for call signals to make themselves known and ask for any news. Okay. And there's like two people chime in, and then it switches to a full on broadcast with news stories related to amateur radio use, also known as ham radio. Okay. So, for
Okay.
instance, there's like people talking about, there's a news update about some amateur radio user making contact with the International Space Station. And then a news correspondent who only broadcasted on radio had passed away, and there's like a full obituary. And it was all the news stories centered around amateur radio use.
Uh-huh.
And I love it. There's this subculture of these people are very public civic or civic minded. They're like ready to go. They're kind of, it's prepper adjacent to be clear. And they love talking hardware, radio hardware, and talking about the radio on the radio. So I'm glad they exist. I can't say this is the next hobby that I'm going to go into, but I just didn't know this. I'm not surprised, but I'm just glad to have stumbled upon it in an organic way.
And did you come in and be like Foxtrot, Tango, Niner, 24, or did you stay
Well,
silent?
no, I was like, oh gosh, they definitely heard my buddy and I just being dumb to each other.
Well, you can chime in next time. Hey, give a shout out to Wild and Well Together. You can
Yeah,
come in and be like, hey, I'm on an amateur show too. I'm on Wild and Well Together.
maybe that's the way that we can request listener comments is hop on channel 4, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'll have it there. I'll be on ready to go.
I would love that. It's better than carrier pigeon. So we're moving up more technologically savvy. So
That's
I'll
right.
take it. All
All right,
right.
your turn.
My three, not as exciting as a new radio, not as exciting as that. But my high is we are in Austin, Texas, my husband and I, on a date weekend for his trip, which is lovely. We feel like we're kind of playing hooky because it's a Monday through Wednesday,
Oh,
and the kids
totally.
are at home with Grammy and Bompa. And so it's magical, massive, massive high. My low would be, man, I'm in a really good place because we're on this vacation.
Yeah, everything
See
melts
that my
away.
stomach hurts really bad, and the reason is because I fully indulged in Texas barbecue, which is my buffalo is one of the things that we chose to do was go to a brisket university, learn how to smoke all these different meats, magical place. And at the end, we got to eat. And I am such a sinner. I fully indulged, and it was so good. And my stomach really hurts. So I realize that's not a normal one, but I'm going to take it as if I'm a 4-year old and deliver it that way.
That's my kind of school. Send me back.
Phenomenal, actually. I will put that out to anyone. Go try Texas brisket, and shout out to, yeah, this brisket company here. So fantastic time down in Austin. We'll be here for one more day and then we head back out, but feeling rejuvenated, which is really nice. And without further ado, then we'll get into the meat and potatoes, if you will, of life hacks. Prior to doing so, what is your definition of a life hack, John?
Okay, so I think life hacks, just so that we're teeing this up appropriately, because there were things that started to go down a rabbit hole that I think constituted more than a life hack. But I think it's things that make your life easier. They're practical, they're very tactical tools, and these are to help solve life's little annoyances or tasks that give you some time back to, fold laundry or more time watch Great British Bake Off. You can
Yep,
watch Bake Off uninterrupted.
love that. Or talk to your buddy on the radio, station 4, channel 4.
That's
Here we
right.
go.
Yeah, put the task to rest so you have some time on amateur radio.
I'm in the same boat. It's this idea of a task that makes things easier, more efficient, and then my stress levels therefore can go down because I'm not trying to manage everything with an even fuller plate. It's life's easier, therefore I can either rest hopefully or add in some other things I've been wanting to get to. So, we're going to go back and forth. That way listeners in the community can get to know us a bit. 10 top life hacks for 2025. I want you, and I'll do the same. I'm going to read them out and then would love for you to say if you do it or if you don't. If you do it, great. If you don't, do you want to do it? So
Got it.
I'll start. I'll give an example. I'll start. So, top 10. The first one is automate your life. Use AI tools, scheduling assistants, and auto pay reminders to free up mental space. The answer is yes, I do this, but because my husband has taught me to do it, I am like snail mail. So, would I do it on my own if I was solo? Probably not, but I'm grateful that I do because I get a lot of time back. Do you automate your life, John?
Yes, to a certain extent. Could certainly get better at it. Some things are definitely automated, but looking for ways to automate more.
Declutter. This is scary for me to say. Digital declutter. Unsubscribe, delete unused apps, organize files, and clear notifications to cut daily overwhelm. I have 1,627 unread emails in my email inbox. So do I do this? All right, your turn. Your turn.
I think that I do this, and then I realize that actually getting to 0 in the inbox is what this looks like. So I don't think I do this well. I wanna do it, though.
Okay. On a journey
Yeah.
there. Plan
Yeah.
tomorrow tonight. Pack lunches, set out clothes, prep breakfast, and make your to do before bed.
Yeah, t mostly yes on those things.
Teach me your ways. That is something that Nick and I want to grow in for sure. Time block your calendar, create protected focus periods and no meeting zones to actually get meaningful work done.
Yep. How about you?
Check the box. I do that one. Capsule your stuff. Simplify your wardrobe and home. Fewer choices, more energy for what matters. Are you a Steve Jobs, John? Do you wear all black? Clearly not all black. Do you wear all plaid?
I have a lot of plaid to choose from. I don't do that. Should do it. I don't.
I don't know
I'm
if it's a
looking
should
for it.
though.
Yeah, I don't know that I can stick to one signature look. Would that just be like a Kirkland signature T-shirt for me? I don't know what that looks like.
Costco.
Yeah. Fan and love the simplicity.
Simplicity is great. Not for me. Move
Mhm.
for joy, not punishment. Shift from workout to movement, or this idea of I have to work out to I get to work out. Walking meetings, dance breaks, hikes, and play.
Absolutely.
That's a me too. I love that one. That's probably what I resonate the most with. Sleep like it's your job. Prioritize consistent bedtime, screen free wind down, and real rest as a health tool.
Given how much is out there about this and all the things that I could be doing, no, but I'm not like I mean, look, I'm not a college student, okay? I haven't seen midnight in a long time, okay? So I kind of is my answer. I'm doing this.
I love that for you. The one before this would be my top, and this one would be my lowest. I'm not great at that, and it's a space that I shared with Jen on her huddles and share with friends of sleep is my biggest goal for 2026. I'm starting now, creating those rhythms, but it's for 2026 to change that habit specifically with screen time next to the bed,
Yep.
phone next to the bed. Automate your savings and audit your spending. Pay yourself first and check subscriptions or expenses monthly to trim the waste.
Yes.
Nice.
And we're
You
gonna
do
talk about the
so
way in which we do this later.
okay, deep dive into that one. Awesome. I do that one as well. And number 9, build connection into your calendar. Schedule time for friends, family, or community. Connection just doesn't happen.
I don't think so. We see friends a lot and family, they're not local, so I don't get to see them as much as I'd like, but we do prioritize it. You're looking for simple question, simple answer. I'd say, no, I don't do this that well.
Okay. We do in some regards as far as the kids getting to see their grandparents. Fortunately, we live by our parents, so the kids get to see them. And in that, we schedule out Nana night, things like that. However, friends outside of one book club that I'm in, I don't schedule it regularly. And last but certainly not least, create a daily shutdown ritual. End your day by clearing your workspace, reviewing for tomorrow, and closing loops mentally.
No, I don't.
I don't either. My hubby
Mhm.
does, and he's zen when he gets home, so it's something I could take from him for sure.
Normally, it's just running from the desk to the door to go to the gym, and I don't make time to do it. I definitely benefit from it when I do, though.
Nice. When do you squeeze water into your mouth as you're running out the door?
Yeah, exactly.
And
But
food
but
as
I
you're
spray it from a full extended arm. I embrace the challenge.
it moisturizes the face, it's 2 life hacks in
Yeah.
one.
What is that all over your shirt? Are you okay? Are you alright, dude? Yeah, sorry, I was just hydrating.
Oh, alright, let's get into the rest of this. What are some deep dives that you have for life hacks?
Okay, so I kind of think about these in a few different categories, and I aim for what I would say quality for me as opposed to quantity, so that the topics are kind of jump around a bit, but these are the things that I do put in use that I'm a believer in. So, starting with groceries and meal planning, okay? I am a huge proponent of online pickup at grocery stores. And here's my here's my diatribe on this. Number 1, you can shop from the comfort of your home. So I can be chilling on the couch, placing an order, and I'm not walking aisles like having decisions to make. Number 2, it reduces impulse purchases. So I'll walk by a display, I'll walk by things that I didn't need, there were wants, and by not doing that, it saves me money. I probably eat a little bit healthier. I'm always disappointed when there's not like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't get any Oreos."
Yeah.
Miriam is too like, "Nothing?" I'm like, "No, I guess it's just broccolini this week." It's easier to compare prices. I'm not great about this, but online, much easier. These online platforms are often highlight sale items, or they have a price per unit comparisons, and they make it much easier to shop simpler within your budget. I've also found that they minimize food waste. So by planning meals and buying only what you need plus staples, you what ends up happening is I avoid buying unnecessary ingredients or quantity of things that I don't really need, and then those go to waste. So my sub tip within this, the life hack within the life hack is I use our favorite cookbook to plan meals for the week. And I can throw a meal together fine, but we refer to these two cookbooks because it gets us outside of our creative comfort zone, and they're great recipes. They're not too fussy. And we get those ingredients plus household staples, snacks, or breakfast items. And we're doing a cadence every week. And then the biggest thing is you save time. You can have like pre-built grocery lists for recurring purchases. They text you when it's ready. They text you with substitutions. You drive. They literally put it in my back seat. And oh, by the way, when you get home, everything's bagged, at least with my grocery store, in a really intuitive way to put it all away. So all the dairies together, all the pantry items together. It's so much better than if I were there helping bag it myself. And you might think, oh, this adds cost, but the reality is most fees are waived on orders over $100. So, which my family's typical grocery order is more than that. So it doesn't actually add cost. And the reality is that we save anywhere from like $30 to $40 an order.
Nice. For all of us at the edge of our seat or that have many questions.
Yeah.
1, how often do you do this? How often do you order?
Once a week.
And is that a set day of Sundays are your order day or Tuesdays are your order day, or it varies?
It moves around. I mean, when you look in the pantry and you're out of bread or fridge and you're out of milk, you're like, yeah, it's that time.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
is it like a Home Depot situation where you go back 4 other times because you left 1 or 2, 3, 7 things out of the cart, or do you stick to you just go to the grocery store 1 time a week?
I've on occasion had to just run in, but I haven't. There was a time where I hadn't been in a grocery store in the last year in 4 months. And
Oh.
this is the other piece is like when I'm you know how I roll. If I'm in a grocery store, I'm bopping around 3 or 4 times because I forgot something on the other side. And so now I just get to do that digitally. So am I searching the produce section 4 times on my phone? Yes, but at least I'm not walking from the produce section to the other side of the store and back 4 times.
Yes, apples, Oreos,
Yeah,
frozen pizza, you're doing it all digitally, love that.
yeah.
And for those of us wandering minds, what would be you mentioned Oreos. What is your go-to if it's gonna be random, what would be your random choice? While
Um,
you're thinking, mine is always chocolate. I'm like, "Ooh, what is this on sale?" And I'll go
yeah.
and find maybe it's like 70% cacao. Mine is always a fun, fancy chocolate if I'm gonna do a random shop.
It's gotta be a chocolate chip cookie of sorts.
Oh,
Yeah. I
okay. Are
mean,
we like Chips Ahoy or you're like in the bakery section?
no, like the Tate's, like the green bag chocolate chip cookies, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you. I am terrible at that. My husband's so glad that you're saying this.
Give
Oh,
it a go. Give it a
okay.
try.
I will
I
give
think
it a
you'll
try.
find it'll be a new habit quickly. I got
Really,
my
I will get
in-laws
back
doing
to
that.
you.
Yeah.
I will get back to you on that and to the team. What is your next life hack for us?
So related to this is if you don't want to use a cookbook, um, you don't feel inspired to cook something from your head at the end of the day. I like to use Planet with AI. What's cool about it is that you can use your favorite AI platform. You can put in the parameters, number of people, time frame. You can say plan 3 days, plan a week. You can
Mm,
ask for recipes with overlapping ingredients to reduce waste and money. And then once you like go through it and you like the recipes, you can ask it to generate a detailed shopping list with quantities, and then you can use that as a starting point to place your online order.
brilliant. Betty
Um,
Crocker, move aside. We've got a new cook
that's,
in town.
that's right, coming for you, Betty.
I I'm the cook for the most part. My husband smokes meat and we'll do some of the grilling and all of that. However, I'm the cook for the most part. In that, these life hacks are wishes that he has for me because he sees how much time I put into our family sitting together eating dinner, and I don't do any of these. And so I appreciate you sharing, and I will go back to this one too. So I am so far 0 for 2 and committed to 2 for 2. What is
Okay,
number
nice.
what is number 3? I feel like those 2 went hand in hand and make are like a double down or habit stacking. Jen taught me that term last time, and so habit stacking where I can say, "All right, I'm gonna order this because I've looked and had an AI platform give me all the things I need, so I don't need to think
Yeah.
about it more than just click, 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 click."
So I don't want to oversell these, but I will say, having done it the first time, it felt like such a lift of a burden that it was like, oh, this is the only way I can do this. Like it didn't feel like adding more mental capacity to do these. Whereas some of these life hacks can feel like, oh, it's just another thing I need to do, but there's payoff. This was an instant gratification for me. So I'm curious to see what your experience is.
Let's go.
Moving on. So this one's around the house, and I could go down rabbit holes on how to cut miters, drywall repair hacks. I'm going to just hold on all that. I don't think that's what we're all looking for. Here's what I'm getting at.
0 for 3. Let me just start there. You gave that intro to this, and I'm 0 for 3, whatever life hack's about to come in. All right, go ahead.
My hack is to use the Yelp project function for home maintenance or repair stuff for things that I don't want to take on. So, life update, you might notice that I'm using my desk. I'm no longer locked out of it.
I was waiting for that.
It's good to be back. Now, full transparency, I could not get into the desk myself. Okay. I ordered some things to try to pick the lock myself and I failed. And I said, I don't
What?
have 2 hours.
Let's see that dentistry tool. What is
Yeah.
that?
This is basically a dentistry tool, basically a lock picking
Okay.
piece. And I've got a whole set now. So that feels good. And I'm like, I can't mess around with this for 2 to 3 hours. And what's the payoff? Okay.
Not
There's
getting
going
to
to
watch
be
Great British Bake Off. That's
exactly. I'm pulling away from the things that I need to do or want to do. So I've used this twice in the last 2 weeks. The project function on Yelp. So this is for tasks like carpet cleaning, locksmith, small home repairs. Could be a non-urgent plumbing thing, electrical. The way it works is you use the project function, you enter the details of your project onto Yelp, and like my experience within an hour, I'll have at least 3 bids or price estimates from local businesses. So a
nice.
lot of these are flat rate based pricing as well. So you don't have the price creep generally. What I like about it is that you get real time pricing and you can compare rates from multiple vendors. It saves time. So the old way of doing this for me was looking online, calling 3 people, get 2 of 3. Now you're calling another 2 people. You're getting prices back at different times. I personally feel compelled to then call them back and say no.
Dang,
That's
that's
a me thing.
classy of you.
It just makes it way more efficient. It saves time there, and then it's really ideal for straightforward tasks. So I would not recommend this if you're talking about large scale projects. Okay, if you want to like plan an addition on your house, or like your plumbing is not is you got an
Down the
issue,
toilet.
I would not use this necessarily, but it is for the things that are maybe non-urgent and very standard. It's just way easier. That's my hack.
Okay, I am actually 1 for 3, which is exciting. We just use TaskRabbit. I've yet to use Yelp, so this is good to know. We use TaskRabbit because we bought a bunch of dining room chairs, which was great. But they were from IKEA, which shout out to IKEA. However, there's 15,000 pieces to one chair.
Yeah.
And so they had a flat rate, which was really nice to say, okay, for this amount, this one person can come and they'll do everything at once and in one night. And you schedule it out and we chatted and it was good to go and it was signed, sealed, delivered. So
Nice.
I'm in. I'm about it. I'm a believer in this one. All right. I'm one for three.
Okay, nice work, nice work. The next one, I'm moving to parenting, and yeah, I know.
Teach me your ways.
So this life hack is for when your child won't stay in bed. I was given some advice one time, when we figured out we were first having a baby, and that was that you put children to bed, not to sleep, and man, oh man, has that proven to be true. All you can do is control when you put them in bed. But
Laughing because I would cry if I didn't laugh.
exactly.
It's a it's to the
Blink
core right
twice if
now.
you need help on this.
We're both in glasses because contacts won't fit in our swollen eyes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we used to have to go into the room like 10 times a night for our middle child, and we started using the pass method. And this was given we actually reached out to help her, like, "We need help with this. This has gotten out of hand." So, this would look like we put our middle daughter to bed. She's coming out 10 times. She's dancing, okay? She wants to show us a dance. She has a secret. The secret I'll tell you guys the secret. The secret is, can we have pancakes in the morning? Every time. That's the secret, okay? So and then we'd put her back in bed, then she's crying, we're having to come back in, and it's like this hour ordeal at least, right? So, enter the pass method. The way this works is you deem something the pass. It's like the conch. Anything can be the pass, okay? My recommendation is that it's something that you have multiple of, so that when someone loses the pass, that you can go, "Oh, here's the next pass," right?
Mm.
They use the pass to either come out once and have all their needs met, fill their water, use the bathroom, get hugs, whatever it may be. They turn the pass over to you, and then once they go back, they can't. They're stuck. They're stuck. And let's use some common sense here. We understand that, like, we're not locking anyone in. We understand when there's
Yeah.
real emergencies, but she's in there now, right?
And she
And
bought
then,
it.
well, she's bought in because if she does this successfully, the next morning she gets a sticker on a chart. And then once you get to 5 stickers, there's some sort of treat at the end of that. Maybe that's a bigger sticker, maybe that's aforementioned chocolate chip cookie. And the reality is that reward, we didn't even need to do it after like week 2. It's like the gamification of it that's where the fun is. And she really responded well to it. So it gave us back, no joke, an hour to an hour and a half a night when we were struggling with this.
Mhm. And energy-wise, it gave you far more than that as far as going, my brain, is she gonna come out? Is she not? Is she gonna come out? Is she not? Let's do a deep dive or let me go do woodworking or fishing or whatever you wanna do, or just chill and sit and look at a wall
Have an
and
adult
not,
conversation, perhaps,
"Oh, that sounds."
be able to just exist, not parenting before you go to bed. It's a nice thing.
We don't do that one. However, that is a I like the idea of gamifying it because kids, all of us, we like games. Even if it's not easy, we like things to be fun, and I could see our oldest buying into that for sure. Our younger one, I'm gonna try it with as well and see what she does. Right now, we're in a season where they are debating sharing a room because they both get scared at night, and so they're waking up.
I
And so
hear you.
wanting to validate that, wanting to honor that, and also we don't need to be in mom and dad's room 15 times.
Yeah,
And
totally.
so how do we mitigate that? So I'm gonna, yeah, gamify it in some way or this option for a pass. The other piece that came up to me is you and your Channel 4 buddy, your call name is Pancake.
We are a pancake house over here.
I
We
make
do a
I
lot of
bet you make
pancakes.
bon.
Okay, so the last one is on budget and money, and good thing I have a friend who has a very, very good financial advisor husband, and he might have more to say about this, but we use a budgeting app, and this is really helpful to set budgets and then to track spending. And it's revealing when you see what you think you're spending your money on and what you're actually spending your money on. So
Mhm.
I've personally saved hundreds on seeing subscriptions or recurring payments. Those pesky warranty folks that you think you're out of a contract and fine print actually says, "We'll just pause it for 3 months and then charge it again." Caught some of those. And then so we use Monarch, is the name of the app, and they have a plugin for Amazon, so we can actually see where we're spending our money on Amazon. How much of that is splurge versus, real things that we need staples around the house. So that most of them come with an annual subscription. I'm sure they're mining our data, and there's a trade-off there, so just be aware of that. But from a utility perspective, it's been really helpful for us.
Okay. And what is most revealing as far as your Amazon purchases? Do you sit more like that feels very, let me preface it with this. That feels very invasive to me in a helpful way, in a healthy way. But if
Yeah.
I'm honest with myself, I like, let's go to Kirkland, let's go on to Amazon. I can buy us necessary things. However, at
Mhm.
those two stores I just mentioned, I can also buy myself a new sweater. I can also buy myself new leggings, and it falls into our budget for groceries
Yep,
or for
exactly.
things like
That's what
that.
I'm
So
trying to
that's
root
sweet of
out
you.
over here.
I take full responsibility that I am sharing not a great way to live life. However, that is a stumbling block for me in
Yeah.
this life hack. What about for you?
Look, it's funny because there are other areas where I'm like, "You don't get my data?" This one, I'm like, "Take my data so that I can see where we're spending." The freedom in being clear on what your budget looks like, your financial health. There's freedom, and it removes the guilt from buying the thing that you wanna buy.
Mm,
And so if you're gonna indulge, set yourself up to be able to indulge, and that's the way I look at it.
I love that. From a psych side, you went into a bunch because you went into parenting, finances, home life situations, shopping, and then getting tasks done. And each of those bring cognitive ease to us. They allow our brain to release our mental load. So that's one thing that I'm hearing in there. Another one is this idea of dopamine and rewards. You talked about that with gamifying for your second daughter. We also need
Yeah.
that as adults. We need our dopamine levels to increase, or this idea of a reward pathway of I can see how my life will be better, how my life will be more full, how I will be able to look at a blank wall and not feel guilty for having an adult conversation, things that are natural. And then the other I was gonna say is this idea of perceived control. Life hacks give us a sense of agency, and we all need that. That's part of human existence is saying, I can do this. I'm in control of my life. I am healthy. I'm well, or at least I understand what's happening now. And so those are the three pieces that really stick out of why life hacks are so important. And you and I have decided for those listening, wild ones, John and I have decided that this is going to be a regular routine quarterly and a rhythm and ritual for Wild and Well together because life hacks matter so much. Those are those practical, tactical tools that allow us to live a more free life, a more full life. And so, John, thank you for bringing in all of those. I,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, am 2 for 5. And so I have growth too. And I'm excited to try these.
Well, I'm gonna need more ideas for life hacks, so this is where I wanna turn it to the listeners. What are your life hacks that you care to share? I think Becca and I can put some of these to the test, see if they work for us. But challenge accepted, we're gonna do this quarterly so that we can improve the way we go about life and then share those learnings with you all as we stumble across them.
Yes. And to leave us with 60 seconds to center, why life hacks work is your brain loves efficiency. Every time you simplify a task, you reduce a mental load. That's the cognitive ease I just mentioned, then the dopamine hit, and then life hacks give us this sense of control that I talked about. So, I want us to go ahead and decide one thing that we are going to do. Take 60 seconds. Maybe it's decluttering the sink and doing the dishes for 60 seconds. Maybe it's cleaning out our center console in our car. Maybe it's putting one name on our calendar that we're gonna call once a week. That's like at 7 o'clock on Sundays, I call my mom. Boom, done. It takes 60 seconds to organize it. So it's saying I'm gonna take this small piece of my life and I'm gonna organize it or have a space to be clean or decluttered. That way I can operate more freely to give myself control, to allow efficiency, and then ultimately to get some dopamine hits to say, hey, I can do life and I can do it well.
All right.
Another Wednesday had.
That's right. Yeah, watch out. I've got my dental tools. I'm pretty dangerous now. I can do some James Bond stuff. I have more YouTube University to attend.
All right. Well, while John's at YouTube University and while I'm at Barbecue University. We hope all of you have an awesome week, and we will see you next week. Cheers.
All right. Bye.